Hello, everybody. We are from Vienna, from the city administration of Vienna, and we have dealt a lot with e-procurement in the last period, in the last time, and we want to tell you something about how we managed it, what the challenges are now, and what is going on in Vienna together with e-procurement. But first of all, let me give you some facts, some figures about Vienna, about Austria. As you may know, Austria is in the heart of Europe. It is a federal state. It has 9 regions, so-called Länder. There is no translation for this word, for Länder. And Vienna is one of these regions. The entire federal state has about 8.7 million inhabitants, and we are a growing country. The annual percentage change of our inhabitants is about 0.8% per year, so we are steadily growing as federal state. And the federal state has a gross value added around 3 billion euros.
Now let's have a short look on Vienna itself. Vienna has at the moment 1.87 million inhabitants, and it's quite fast growing, as we will show you afterwards, and the percentage of the total gross value added is about 25% of the federal state.
Yeah, as I already said, the federal state is steadily growing. Vienna itself, as the capital city of the federal state, is a very strong growing city. Vienna, 100 years ago, had about 2 million inhabitants. And then it steadily became smaller and smaller, but the turnaround was reached around 1995. From that moment on, Vienna began to grow again, and we are growing very fast. It's about 1.5% per year, and I think you can imagine that this causes many challenges for a municipality which is growing in such a fast way.
Okay, now let's have a glance at a few facts and figures just to show you why e-procurement is a relevant topic for the city of Vienna. We already discussed about population. Vienna is organized in 23 districts. We have 65,000 city administration staff. The budget is approximately about 13 billion euro, and there are a few special things in Vienna which are not very common in European cities at now. Vienna has about 220,000 city-owned flats, which makes the city of Vienna to one of the biggest European housing companies. We run about 400 schools, 12 hospitals with 9,000 hospital beds, which is also one of the biggest hospital companies in Europe. And culture is a very big topic in Vienna. Just to give you an idea, we have 200 bookshops and more than 120 theaters and concert halls. So,
yeah, this slide should give you just an overview about the challenges that the city administration of Vienna has to deal with. As my colleague said, very broad range. For example, water management is done by the municipality of Vienna. Waste management is a big theme for us. Hospitals, of course. So, as a conclusion of that, we can say that Vienna is the biggest individual public contractor in Austria. Even bigger than the federal state, I would say, because the federal state is divided into different branches, different ministries, and the city of Vienna is one single person, and so it's bigger than these different branches of the federal state. We can say that we have about 1 billion euro total award per year, and our different contracting authorities have to deal with about 6,000 formal procedures per year, just to give you an impression of the figures that we deal with.
Now let's have a look on our master plan for our e-procurement project, and please have a look with me at the timeline. We started already in 2013 to develop an e-procurement strategy for the whole city administration, for our more than 70 departments and so on. So this was necessary to focus on the real strategic goals and to give a little bit streamlining in the city administration. Then in 2014 we did requirements and process analysis, and in 2015 we started our tendering for procurement software, and this was a very interesting tendering situation in Austria, because as we already talked about the situation of Vienna in Austria, it was from the beginning on, it was clear that the result of the tendering in Vienna will in reality influence the e-procurement market in Austria because of the big amount of tenders and formal procedures in Vienna. The result of the tendering was that the consortium with the Austrian partner VZTP and Vortal with the next platform won the tender, and consequently we started the e-procurement project with organizational preparation, customizing, pilot and rollout, which is ongoing now.
Yes, and what were the key issues of our master plan? We were trying to focus on an efficient and transparent e-procurement process. Both efficiency but also transparency are very important issues for us. And of course, we were searching for a solution, for a platform which is in accordance with European law on the one hand side, and on the other hand side also in accordance with the Austrian law, where there are, especially under the threshold, some specialities, let's call them so. Yeah, that's the reason why we made the tendering, and we were searching for a proven product, for a key turn product. We didn't want to develop something new. We knew that there were some products on the market, so we decided to make a tender to get a turnkey project which meets our needs. And as my colleague already said, the result of this tender was that Vortal with the next platform won, and is now our partner to make e-procurement, to roll out e-procurement within the city of Vienna administration.
So the e-procurement project is a really quite big project for the city of Vienna, but on the other hand we have quite big experience in big projects. It's not the only one we do parallel, and we are quite used to manage complex projects and have great experience in IT governance. What's quite clear for us from the beginning of the project on is that a main focus will be and must be on the organizational preparation and on the communication processes. This was one main reason why it's necessary for us to have a proven product. We must have the concentration of our internal resources on organizational and communication topics. And to have the maximum result of the e-procurement project, we defined e-procurement as a strategic objective for the city of Vienna.
Okay, sorry, that was too fast. Well, let's have a closer look on our e-procurement project. Let's go back to the year 2015. In that year, a person who should be responsible for the successful project was appointed. This person was me. I am the director for e-procurement of the city of Vienna. So it's my duty to make sure that the project will be in time and in cost. This was in 2015, and the formal start of the project was at the end of the year 2015. The first phase of the project was the framework preparation, and we did that because we are convinced, and experience told us so, that when you buy a software, it's not enough to buy it and to give it to the users and say, here you are, get lucky with it. You have to prepare the organization for this new product. And exactly that is what we did in this phase. We had the special situation that in accordance with the broad range of our challenges, there were many contracting authorities within the city administration. We had 63 different contracting authorities, and as you can imagine, there were, well, let's say, some differences within the procedures, within the processes of these contracting authorities. And what we did is that we reduced the number of these contracting authorities from 63 to now 19, which is a very huge reduction, and which, as you maybe can imagine, caused many discussions within these authorities, question of resources, and so on. But we managed that, and so we only have left, I said it already, 19 contracting authorities who will deal with the next platform in future. Now we are in the second phase, in the so-called customizing and piloting phase. We have already, we are at the final of customizing. We're going to start the piloting before summer. And then, after having a stable product piloted in 5 contracting authorities, the rollout will start in autumn. We divided it in 3 phases, and the plan is that we will, in the next year, have the rollout finished. Very important for the success of the project is also the communication, and we took many attention to the theme of communication. And by communication is meant also internal communication, communication to the users of the platform, the competent authorities who will use the platform in future, but also, and this is even as important as the internal communication, the communication to the external partners, to the suppliers. And we have a special phase in the project which deals with this communication. We try to do here our best.
Now, just to give you an idea, perhaps after all what we tried to say, you may think that it's quite easy and no real problem to implement procurement in Vienna. And just to give you an idea how complex the project is in reality, we brought this project governance picture here, and for the next hour I will discuss with you all the details so that you are really familiar with the project in Vienna. And of course in PMI standards it's not the project but the program, but this is not the real point. The real point is that at the end we will have about 600 users using the next software. The complexity is quite big on different reasons. We will run the software in our own data center. We built a few years ago a quite new big data center for the city of Vienna. We have therefore a lot of challenges, a little bit specific to make and to fulfill and to do. And we have, and this is one of the main challenges, we have a lot of quite different internal and external stakeholders which are involved in the governance structure.
Our concrete next steps will be that we will start the piloting with 5 well-chosen departments, contracting authorities, which cover the whole broadness of our different challenges. For example, here you can see the logos of these departments. One department mainly deals with building contracts, because it's the owner of the flats of the city of Vienna. Other department mainly with supply contracts, but we also have the department for city planning, and they mainly deal with service contracts. So that after this piloting phase, we will have we will have all kinds of contracts that there are. Challenge will be to keep one standard for all these departments, for all these contracting authorities, as the Vienna solution, and also to have an individual scope of action in the application if necessary. Our current planning is that the rollout will end in October, so that we will have a precise landing according to European law, which says us that until end of October the EU directives have to be implemented, and well, we are exactly in time. Here, just to give you an overview, these are the logos of our 19 departments, 19 contracting authorities that will handle with the platform in the future.
This was our presentation. We are quite open and welcome all questions to challenge us, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you.